Now, how in the hell do you get that swarm into that box and get the queen when that thing's got about 1.5 inch diameter stick in the middle of it and about 5 other tree limbs going up in there at the same time? And if you don't get the queen in that box, you're wasting your time. Let me think about it.
I don't know if you can hear it, but there is a swarm of bees buzzing everywhere. Probably thousands. Just a big net of bees, and I think they're coming this way. I can see them now around my head. Holy crap.
Okay, finally got the damn camera to come on. Kind of hard to do with gloves and a bee suit on. Well, I got that far, which is good. Now, I had to whittle that thing down with a freaking pocket knife because that's all I had with me. So, this is what that's what I cut that damn limb down with. And then I laid it over the box and gave it a good spanking, and got a good many bees in the box. Now it's just a matter of waiting around and seeing if I got the queen off of there and into the box. If I did, the rest of them should go into the box. And if I didn't, then they'll stay on that damn limb up there, and maybe that's where she's at, right in there. If that's the case, I'm gonna go back down there, finish taking out the rest of that bottom of that limb. There's still something hanging on, and then give that top of that thing a good whack in case she's on there, and see if I can get her in the box. Once I get her in the box, then I can lay a lid over it and let the rest of them make their way on in there, which it kind of, half of them are going in and half of them are hanging. So I'm going to look at the size of that limb right there and down there and see what happens. But I believe I'm encouraging them to go in the box. I'm going to turn the camera off and take a good look at them and see if I can tell what's going on. But she could be still on that limb right there. The biggest balance of the bees were in that fork and coming up here, and I figured that's where she was at, but I could have missed her and she climbed back up on that limb. If that's the case, 10 or 15 minutes from now, that limb will start growing, or will continue to grow, and I'll know she's on there. I'll break the bottom of that limb off and make sure I give it a good shake and try to get her in that box. So anyway, I thought this was an impossible task here initially, but I managed to find a workaround for that. So anyway, I'm going to get down here on one knee and take a real good close look at it, and I'll give y'all an update in a little bit. Now I got the camera to turn on. Finally, let's see if I can get it to turn off. I had to use my freaking nose through my... Alright, well, I got the rest of the limb cut off from the bottom down there, and had to get down there in the ditch, use my pocket knife again to whittle out that last little bit. But I believe I got the queen in the box. They sound like they're content inside of the box. And let's see, looks like they're going in, congregating, slowly making their way around there. And I set that little bottom board on there because I didn't want to set the lid on, because I didn't want to kill any bees. But Mom's coming out to check me out. She's staying her distance, as you can see. And but it looks like everybody's working their way down in there now that I've got the top on it. So we'll see. I'll have to give it 15-20 minutes. And whenever that bunch of bees on the outside, there's a shitload of bees in there, by the way. Whenever those bees on the outside go into the box, then I'm 100% certain that we got the queen. But we should be able to see within a little bit what kind of activity's going on. I don't want to move the box yet because it's still got a crap load of bees right in the front of it. And if they smell the queen in there, I mean, that's a lot of damn bees. If they smell the queen in there, they should go on into the box and get settled at least before dark. So we got lucky and got us a swarm. And I believe, I hadn't been paying too much attention, but I had a swarm move in to my apiary over there 2 years ago, and I hadn't had time to fool with bees. I've been just letting them go. They lasted through one winter, and I went over there, and that box on second from the end, or on the end, I can't even remember now, still got bees in it. So they've survived 2 winters on their own without me doing anything to them. So they're a good strand of bees. So I feel extremely fortunate to grab this swarm, and I'm just assuming that they came out of my box. I don't know, because I ain't been fooling with them. But if that came out of that box, and that's the bees that overwintered by themselves, and considering the location of the swarm and the proximity over here, holy shit, that's a good strain of bees right there. And they've been doing on their own without anybody messing with them for 2 winters now. They survived 2 winters. So all right, it's probably a good hour after I initially bumped them in there, and then I cut off that limb and bumped them some more. And you can tell now what I've done is I had 2 frames on this side. I pushed them over a little bit to give the bees more room. I think I've got a total of 2 new waxes in there and 1 old. No, 2. I think I got 4 frames in there now. I need to go put, since these are a swarm, they're ready to throw a lot of new wax, so I'm gonna go get some new wax and take a couple of, we'll fill the box up with new build out. So anyway, what I've done so far, you can see there's less bees on the side of the box. I moved the 2 frames that were on this side over here, move them over about 2 inches or so, give them more room, and that looks like that's encouraging those bees to go back in the box. I still got a good many on front of the box, but I moved the box back a few minutes ago. Moved it back about 4 or 5 inches, and I'm going to watch those bees that are on the ground there, and those bees that are on the front, because it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock right now, and they should be doing whatever they're going to do within the next couple of 3 hours at the most. So as soon as they're done, they should go into that box. Then I can put the regular cover on it and put that piece back on the bottom, close off the front, and move them over there where I'm going to put them. And I'll keep the no, they should just see they're swarming. Don't have to worry about that. So I'll just leave it open, and tomorrow they can start figuring out where the new home is. They'll do some flights. They'll go out and do, or what they call orientation flights. They'll go out and they'll just fly around little circles right in front of the hive, and then they'll start making a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger circles while they get familiar with their local area, and then they'll go off and do what they're programmed to do, which is go get food and water and nectar and pollen and all that. That's a perfect example of socialism that actually works, if you don't mind being pushed out the hive because you're worthless and and being killed whenever you're done with your useful life. I think that's probably Karl Marx used to be a beekeeper. All right, well, I gotta get busy and do some electrical work here. Let me go check some stuff out for my. Let's see, we're gonna look at some electrical stuff here. All right, no, I mean a meter, not your thing, but anyway. All right, well, it's been about an hour and a half or so. I didn't have the wax that I was hoping I had. I'm not gonna get up here real close just yet, but it looks like most of the bees are still on the little side of the box, some on the front. And I had to go and pick up some wax and frames. And a buddy of mine, I thought I felt a raindrop. I did. A buddy of mine gave me that. I better get busy. I feel a raindrop. These bees are gonna get pissed. That is one freaking full box of bees. And they can't even get in there. So I ran to my buddies and got a case of new deep frames, and then I went and got me a couple of got some wax. I got a couple supers. I just did one real quick, and anyway, I put some new wax in these, and that thing's ready to go on there because they ate so many damn bees in there. I'm gonna have to give them somewhere to go and give them something to do. So this goes on top, and they can start immediately pulling the wax out. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that, but that's just a real thin piece of wax with wires in between it to hold it, so it can be spun with a centrifugal honey extractor, and it's got the comb, the comb on it already, the start of the comb, and they just build that out. And right now it's just about a 1/16 of an inch thick, but they'll build each side out about a 1/4 inch, and that's where they'll start putting their honey. But there'll be enough volume in that box right there to where they'll all be able to get in the hive. Right now it's so full. So that must be a huge hive over there. I just hadn't been paying any attention to all this, and because I've been busy. But I guess I'm going to get back to bee business this year. But these guys here, there's so freaking many of them in there that when it started sprinkling a while ago, they all went in the hive, and about 10 seconds later, they all started coming back out again. So once I get this super on here.
Incoming call from 8 billion 2.
Alright, got 2 supers on them. Closed them up, and then Michael helped me move them over here. And they're all nice and happy and tucked away. I squished 2 bees earlier, but I think that was the only casualty we had. So I've got that, and then I've got for sure, that's where they swarm from, that big one. And those bees came here on their own. They swarmed and showed up here when I didn't have any bees, and I've been ignoring them, other than the fact that I was like, well, I need to get down here and do something with them because they lasted through the winter on their own. And now looks like maybe that must have swarmed at some point, and now looks like I've got bees in this one here. So I need to come down here during the day and see what kind of shape we're in there. I got 3 supers on that. Now that just swarmed, so a good bit of that honey's going to be gone, but it'll be interesting to see how much is in there and see what the condition of that box is, because if that's another one that's loaded with bees, and it's hard to tell just from looking at the outside, then I could end up with a swarm there too. So anyway, I guess I'm going to get back in the bee business this year. So I need to, I'm going to let that swarm, the one that just swarmed, I'll let it rest, let that, because they got a lot of comb to draw out. But if that's the case, those bees came from these 2 boxes here. And so I'm going to make some queens off of these. Got some nukes and queen boxes and stuff like that, so I can do whatever I need to. And go ahead and get me a couple of extra hives going, because heck, if I'm going to raise bees, you know what I mean? I'm not going to just do 2 or 3 boxes of them, so I'm going to pull some brood and eggs and all out and stick them in some of the little nukes and let them make their own queens, since it looks like I got a pretty freaking hardy stock here. Got lucky, and we'll go from there.